Welcome back to Axis Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of Maoyuu Maou Yuusha, Episode 6. And if you remember from last episode, we're introduced to the Winter King and his armada of ships, and they're about to attack the Bright Light Island. However, he is killed along with his force. We were just introduced to him. What? Then moving on past that, we do find out the Winter King's son has taken his place on the throne, and he's even more sympathetic. He wants revenge for his father's death. So there's a second plan that's been kicked in motion to take back Bright Light Island yet again for the second time. He's really not letting this go. Not at all. So moving on past that, we find out Yuusha wants to take back Gate City, and again, that's where the episode ends, and I'll have my final thought and rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with Mao, and she's making fire arrows, which are actually effective for wide area attack. I'm like, so? Aren't you kind of like a pacifist? I mean, you chose to help these humans with agricultural growth. What's up with making all these armaments? What's the purpose? Apparently, she's planning on getting ready for war, but for who and for what reasons we still do not know. But again, that's where we open up with. Moving on past that, we're taken to the human forces. Yes, finally. The Winter King's forces. This is his brand new force, because you know it's a brand new Winter King, of course. And we get to see the human forces, and this is 2 weeks later, of course, and they're getting ready for some secret surprise on Bright Light Island. Well, what is this secret surprise, or should I say this special attack they're talking about? We really don't know, but it kind of has me thinking. I mean, if they're able to pull this off in 2 weeks, it has to be something on a big scale. Obviously, since the first Winter King was defeated that easily, it's got to be something a little more, I don't know, creative in my opinion. However, we are taken to a different scene with the Nun, which is Yuusha's companion. Yeah, the Nun. I still don't know what her name is though, but I'm sure one of my viewers might comment down below and hopefully tell me who this person is, because I like calling her the Nun because I like being sarcastic, but you know, it gets kind of old. But sorry, I digress. Again, we're taken to a brief cutscene with this Nun, and she's being greeted by the new Winter King. Apparently, she's the new general of the army. I'm like, yeah, I kind of saw that coming. In last episode, it was a dead giveaway. Now, moving on past that, we're taking to a different scene with Mao, and she's getting ready to head out for Bright Light Island. Is she with the demonic side? You know, is she with the demons, or is she with the humans? We still don't know, but she's got all these carriages full of something. We still don't know. Obviously, we know she has, you know, fire arrows in one of them, but that's kind of interesting. So I'm interested to see what Mao's really up to and what she's going to be doing. However, we are taken to a different scene with the Holy Crusaders in Gate City. Yeah, those guys are just really effed up right now because Yuusha, also known as the Black Knight, yeah, Yuusha's got a new name, he's the Black Knight, no one knows him as the hero, and he's using illusion magic thanks to the fairies to screw around with these guys. So he's not killing them, but he's just messing with them so much that they're just running away, quitting. It's perfect. And then he gets this little bird on his shoulder to screw with the commanding officer of this Gate City. So I was like, he's using the magic to his best advantage, and I like it. I just like it. He definitely deserves the Black Knight title, because you know what? He went from a hero to something totally different, and I like it. He's doing it for the right reasons, but it appears to be for the wrong ones. That's what makes it so interesting. However, we are taken to a different scene with Mao, and she's actually meeting with the Winter King. So I thought, okay, so she chose the human side. But however, the Winter King, he just wants to attack, well, you know, Bright Light Island for pride. You know, basically because his father was killed, he's trying to finish what he started. So, you know, like, aw, father and son type of thing. At the same time, if they do take back Bright Light Island, they can open up trade routes, like several different trade routes. So it's got purpose. So they're not just doing this for revenge. So thank God it's for something else. But, you know, for several trade routes, yeah, but it's still for the war effort toward killing the demons. And when you find out there's no more demons to kill, what's going to happen to those trade routes, you know? In a common sense. However, we are taking a different scene with the Winter King. And again, he was basically explaining why they're invading, well, technically Bright Light Island a second time. And again, it's just to restore several different trade routes, which I think I already just said. But I like bringing that up multiple times because I guess it's very important within this anime series to understand that the trade routes, no matter where they're at throughout this countryside, they're probably one of the most important things because they feed different countries what they need, the supply efforts, like the war efforts, to keep going. And without those supplies, you know, technically a government, a country could collapse. So they're fighting to survive. So if they're not fighting the demons and they're not getting support from these trade routes, well, it kind of makes sense. Hence why the Alliance Merchants is so popular. But again, sorry, I digress. Moving on to a different scene. So we see Mao. And Mao actually has a gift to give to the Winter King. I'm like, well, what is this gift? Salt. All those carriages were full of salt. What are you gonna do with salt? We don't really know, but it's in exchange for one full day for the Winter King's army to stand down. What? I'm sorry, that don't make any sense. I don't care who you are. So you're giving salt to someone, you're not getting any money for it, and it's to buy you 1 day of the Winter King's army not attacking the demons on Bright Light Island? Okay, something's up. That's one hell of a plan. I can't wait to find out. However, taking to the next scene, all I can say is, it begins. Yes, the Winter King, he starts it up. His whole army, they're all up and ready. So this must be another, like 1 day later probably. And we see the Winter King's army, and it begins. They advance, and they take the beachhead. That's right, they take the beachhead. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And it only cost them 500 casualties. So they're on the beachhead of Bright Light Island. They take it over, and 500 casualties. I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. Now, moving on past that, we do find out the Ice General awaits them in the castle. You heard me, the Ice General awaits them in the castle. Now, he looks like literally a walrus. I'm not shitting you, he looks like a walrus. Apparently, he has 8,000 demons left. So, no joke, this guy's ready to kick ass, regardless. Now, of course, moving on past that, we're thrown with a little information about the Winter King. Apparently, he has 12,000 soldiers, and you would think 12,000 soldiers would beat 8,000 demons. No, to lay siege on this castle, you're going to need double, no, triple the amount of soldiers to that 12,000, because it's not going to do anything to these demons. I mean, 12,000, it's nothing to them. So I thought that was definitely worth mentioning. However, Mao does have a backup plan. Mao does have a plan, so I thought this was definitely worth hearing. Now, at first I was kind of interested to tell everyone the first part of what her plan was before we get to hear the second part of the plan. The first part of the plan, which was already initiated, which is what the salt was used for, was to bridge all the islands, all this like the ice, which forms into like floating ice. They used water and salt to immerse the salt to make it like a floating piece of land. That's how they got to the island in general. So that was like the first part of the plan, which was already initiated. Now, the second part of the plan was a little more interesting. Apparently, she was interrupted by a messenger which was inside, so we don't even get to hear what the plan was directly. And apparently, there's another army which has appeared on the south side of the island. I'm like, what? So we don't get to hear what her plan is, her second part of the plan, but already there's another army, and they don't know if it's humans or if they're demons. So I'm like, so the demons already got backup? What? I mean, there's perfect timing if it is, but I want to hear Mao's plan. Plain and simple. I was kind of pissed. And apparently, this second army has 10,000 soldiers. 10,000. So if this is the demon army, that's 8,000 plus 10,000. That's 18,000 to the humans, which had 12,000. So they're going to be screwed. However, they're not demons. It's Gate City soldiers. Yeah, they came from the city that Yuusha was in. So these Gate City soldiers just transport magically with 10,000 men ready to go. And their commander fled Gate City with them. For what reasons? I'll get into that. But I was like, so the humans now have not 12,000, but think about 10,000 plus 12,000 equals 22,000 soldiers to the demons 8,000. I'm like, you shitting me. This is amazing. I love it. It's perfect. I did not see it coming. Just like, whew, right over my head. So we're taking to a different scene with Gate City. Now we're taken back to Gate City. Now apparently they have a new commander, and he's a lot smarter, a lot brighter, and apparently, well, humans have been conquered. I mean, not technically, but there's no longer a Gate City technically. I mean, there's no longer a human territory for Gate City because all the human soldiers that were able-bodied went with the original commander and they fled. So this new commander is left without any bodyguards, any palace guards, anything. So he basically declares this Gate City is now neutral territory because it's no longer human. It's no longer controlled by humans. So the demons and humans can now flourish in a neutral territory. I'm like, okay, Yuusha, I see what you were doing. Yuusha scared everyone away just for this one particular plot that Mao had set up. That was the plan she was talking about, and I like it. However, you know, probably was a little different if you were to talk to the Winter King about it. It might have been a little different, but kind of makes sense. However, we're taken to a different scene too, Bright Light Island. Now, I was a little intrigued when I heard the numbers. So apparently there were 7,500 demons, yeah, which retreated after seeing, you know, this additional 10,000 able-bodied humans from Gate City. I'm like, really? That's all it took, just showing a couple extra thousand soldiers to pop up for you to get scared? You're on an island with a castle, with the Ice General. I mean, come on. This demon's got to be stronger than he sounds. I mean, come on. But anyways, I digress. Again, 7,500 demons leave the island. They're gone. They're retreating. And the demons are just charging the gate. We find out there are demons charging the gate, or a demon charging the gate. And guess what? Yuusha appears out of nowhere. Yeah, he just poof, he appears. I'm like, what the hell? I love his magic. I mean, for a human using magic, I'm like, do you have a talisman? Are you half demon? I don't know how he's using this magic, but I'm interested to know what he was doing. But he appears out of nowhere on the battlefield, and the large demon appears, which is the Ice General, and he heads his way. So this Ice General is heading right for where Yuusha reappeared, because Yuusha is right with Mao and everyone else under the tent. And I thought, okay, this is kind of interesting. And then the Ice General appears. He's actually attacking as well. However, we're taken to a different scene with the Nun. Yeah, Yuusha's companion. She's a general. Remember that. She appears out of nowhere and basically says, I got this. This is mine. This is what I'm here for. So she takes on the Ice General. So you see the Nun versus the Ice General. At first I thought this is going to be an amazing matchup. No. Because you know what? The Nun wins instantly. She defeats him. And the Ice General, as he's going down, basically tells, the Nun, great swordsmanship. I'm like, is he dead? Or has he just been defeated? It looks like he's dead. But I'm not going to clarify that because I don't even know myself. But again, the Nun wins and the Ice General's defeated. And Bright Light Island has now been won by the Winter King's Armada. His army's there. It's now under human control. I thought that was definitely interesting. Now we are taken to a different scene with Mao and the Nun, and they're being given honorary titles by the Winter King because of what they did and how, Mao was there to back them up with assault and whatnot and with this backup plan, and how the Nun took out, the Ice General. So obviously, it's definitely interesting. Now, speaking of Yuusha, we're taken to a different scene with Yuusha and the old man, or should I say the old perv, which used to be one of his companions. He's kind of like wondering why he showed up out of nowhere, but they're just doing a light catch up, and it's an emotional moment. I mean, no matter what, this old man, he's going to be with Yuusha regardless of what's going to happen, but he still doesn't know about Mao being, the Demon King, so just put that out there. But again, that's where the episode ends. As for final thoughts, okay, well, first of all, now that, Bright Light Island's been conquered, what's going to happen with the shift between humans versus demons? The humans, put it this way, the humans have won Bright Light Island, but they have lost Gate City. What does that mean? Gate City has become a neutral territory, but it hasn't been conquered. So it's neutral, but it hasn't been lost. What's going to happen there? And now that the Winter King has, Bright Light Island, he said he was going to break off from the Central, from the other nations. He's not going to compete in the demon wars anymore, killing demons and whatnot. Or at least that's what he tried to say. Because now that he doesn't have to do anything, he's done with his revenge, there's nothing else to do but sit back and do some agricultural growth to your your country and build up, stop fighting. So I can't wait to see where that's going to take us. As for the alliance merchants, I'm interested to know what's your take on Gate City, because we see one of the aides to the former commander that's actually there with the new commander, and they're just talking and they're basically saying, now this is a neutral territory. What are you going to do? Are you going to try to, I don't know, get another city to do the exact same thing with what they did with Gate City? We don't know. Is it going to be more profitable, or is it going to be a setback? I can't wait to find that out. But again, that ends it for my final thoughts. As for my rating, 3.5 out of 5. The emotion was there, the drama was there, but seeing your new companions to your old companions, if that makes any sense. By new companions, I mean Mao and the Nun. They're all buddy-buddy, so that's like a new companion type thing they got going on. However, we've got, now the old perv, which is part of Yuusha's former, group he used to have. They're back together, so now the old friends are together. So I can't wait to see more about what's going to happen between them. But that was definitely a lot of emotion there, a little drama. As for the fighting, no, the fighting wasn't there. The fighting was there when we saw the humans kind of attacking Bright Light Island, hitting the demons head on. That was amazing. But seeing the Nun versus the Ice General was a waste of time. I thought Yuusha was going to fight the Ice General, so I can't give any points there. But again, final rating, at least final rating that I thought this episode definitely deserved, was a 3.5 out of 5. So final rating, 3.5 out of 5. And again, that ends it for my walkthrough review of Maoyuu Maou Yuusha episode 6. Definitely comment down below, let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, definitely subscribe, check me out on Twitter, and follow me if you like. But again, guys, that ends it for now. And I gotta hit the bricks. I gotta go. But again, let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you think's gonna happen in the next episode that's coming out. So I gotta go. Regardless, I gotta go. I got more anime to watch, review, and upload, so definitely stay tuned. And before I go, I gotta say it, and I always say it, you can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.